Hello and welcome to Centurion's Corner, and today we are doing a retrospective review. Now you may ask, what is that? Well, it's a brand new series that I kind of thought of. We'll go off, we'll grab an old figure from the shelf and put it straight back in front of that character. Is the sculpt, is the articulation, and are the accessories still up to par? Is it worth going out there and tracking down a harder to find figure? Is it worth the money that you're going to put into the figure to actually necessarily buy it to put it into your collection as well? And are they going to bring out any kind of exclusives? What prices are we looking for, and what and how many versions of there are there? So if you like my content, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you like anything that's 6 inches from Black Series is our main kind of part here. We do dab into Marvel Legends, Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, but we also do customizing and upgrades to the figures, whether they're missing a few sort of extra kind of details there, we add those in there. And we also build things like dioramas and stuff there, so we get more out of your 6-inch collection. So if that's your kind of thing, then please subscribe to the channel. So without further ado, let's crack on with this retrospective review. Now this is Captain Rex. Now Captain Rex kind of means a lot to me. He is one of my favourite clones out of the clone series as well. And yeah, he was my kind of like stepping forward into the Black Series. So I thought it was quite a good dedication to start this new series with the character that started all of Centurion's Corner. So I went out there in 2019 and picked up this guy in May, and I think he was about £8 from the Entertainer. I picked up 2, and if you've been around for quite a while, I used to have another Captain Rex, was called my Guinea Rex, and there's not much left of that figure, unfortunately. He's just sort of like over time become painted on, parts and here been moved around to other figures as well. So with the Black Series as well, we'll go through, I mean, we'll go into a bit more detail as well, but I like to bring in a bit of kind of information why I got into the Black Series. So Black Series, I mean, obviously it came out in 2013, and the articulation and the face sculpts on there, it never won me over. I was still big into Lego at that point, but what won me over was the face technology, the face printing and stuff like that. And this was being my first character, picking this one up and looking into it. The actual figure itself looks absolutely fantastic. It looks great. There's a really nice Tamara Morrison head in there, and even still to this day it really holds up to the time. And yeah, that's what won it for me. Once I got this guy, I was like, wow, I need to get more, and then the collection grew. Basically I was just going to collect Clone War figures, but yeah, we know how that turned out, that is for sure. So if you want to go out there and buy this brand new in the box, in the black and red box as well, he was number 59, you're looking about £100, and that was his only release. He never got re-released at all in this current state here. There is a couple of other versions out there that we'll go over as well, but yeah, this is probably like the most pinnacle Captain Rex that you can get. I just don't know why they never re-released it, to be honest with you. We've had him back in Ahsoka. He had a massive part in the season 7 and across the Clone Wars as well. We've had the archive line. We've had some of the Clone Wars sort of releases out there. So it is a bit weird that they never re-released him, especially in the Clone Wars kind of new packaging as well. So if you wanted the Bad Batch version, well, let's just say, actually, if you wanted this one loose, then you're looking about £65. You can work out the dollars there and stuff, but yeah, to me, it's probably about $70 or something like that. There's not much in it now compared to the pound, but yeah, which is, you know, credit to this guy, but I think it's because he's never been re-released in those ways. It did come out in the Bad Batch. I never picked it up. It never looked that great, to be honest, and it went down in the sales quite a bit, and now you can't get it for love or money, and that has now raised. I think people just want a Captain Rex in their collection. They don't really care. So with the Bad Batch one, it didn't have the pauldron up the top here, and he come with this kind of horrible looking smock that went over him as well. And there's a couple of subtle differences in the actual armor as well, like the paintwork weren't as good either. Even still, that one new would be about £65 as well, so it's definitely holding his value. Now, before this one came out, there's a bit more of a story to this guy. He actually originally came out in a Comic-Con version back in 2018. Now, it looked great, it looked brilliant, it come with extra accessories, just like the DC blaster and carbine sort of stuff like that. However, the difference between that one and this one is that it didn't have the face digital tech. It just didn't have it. It just had that horrible looking Black Series thing that I never really liked beforehand, of that sort of hand painted look. So yeah, if you wanted that one, you can go out there, and actually it's not a lot of much money compared to the black and red version. I think it's because of those differences there. I think people just want a Captain Rex, but I think they would rather go out and get the black and red version, just due to the fact that it has the face printing technology there on his head as well. So yeah, this is definitely the one to get hold of if you are looking for a Captain Rex. So with that, we actually get into the actual review of itself. So he only come with few accessories here. He only come with like the 3 accessories, and 2 of which are exactly the same. So we've got the DC blaster in there that hasn't changed at all over this time. Again, just simple like gun grey, all on there, looking pretty cool. And he comes with 2, and they obviously fit into his holster. He never came with a trigger finger, unfortunately, so you can't, you know, put it in the other there. If you wanted to, you could always cut that with an X-Acto knife. I've never done that. I've never actually upgraded this figure either. I've never added any extra paintwork to it or anything like that. So yeah, it's still holding to the test of time. Obviously, you come with his sort of like removable helmet here, looking really good there. Look, all that sort of weathering around on there. This is all factory as well. It's look really good. There's a few little details probably missing here. We could have this bit in the back here black now, I guess, but yeah, got all that tally chart and stuff there on the top of the head, and the helmet still looks really cool. You can actually take this off, and that reveals the Captain Rex underneath there. And yeah, with that face tech technology, it just looks absolutely sensational. So it's pretty cool. Inside the helmet, it's just pure white. It's actually a really sort of like firm plastic as well. It's not even soft like the newer sort of helmets and stuff like that. So yeah, it is really, really cool. So we could just pop that back on there, and then we go through his articulation. So head wise, left and right, he can look down and up, and there's a little bit of a tilt, but mainly it's just the helmet that's moving there. Rotation at the arm, but gets hindered by this. But we've got the rotation around all around here on his right hand side as well. On the arms, we've got upper swivel at the top here. We've got the double elbow joints as well, which are pins, and we've got rotation at the wrist, and they're also on a hinge as well. A really good hinge as well, that they go down quite a bit. We've got left and right there at the abs, crunches forward a little bit, crunches back a little bit more. Legs can come up this way, forward, back, and then we've got the upper thigh rotation there as well. We've got a double knee, which are pinned as well, being older sort of size, and you get quite a nice sort of angle on there. And then we've got the rocker and the pivot at the ankle as well. So yeah, still really good articulation even for this sort of age of figure, and I do think it's one of the better sort of like Black Series figures that Hasbro have produced here for the Star Wars range. But yeah, looking at it, we'll go through the actual details, and we'll talk about it, whether it's not worth that £65 or not. So yeah, looking at that helmet there, it looks really good. We've got all those sort of like markings and stuff down here where he sort of like reconnected the phase 1 mask to the phase 2 helmet there. Even got silver on the sort of like little poncho parts here around on the top. Really good sort of paintwork across there. Arms got the tally charts and the scuffs as well, and all over it's got this sort of like brown weathering effect. We've got the dark parts there inside that kind of backpack part of the whatever the clone troopers have, and then down here as well, more tally charts, and even sort of like all the little scoring and a little bit of weathering. Nothing over the top, not like those are big exaggerated kind of sort of mud splats or big gouges out of the lines. Just enough, just like these little kind of flicks all the way through there. We've got a material sort of like a Kamal here, and then again we've got the weathering and stuff all over the belt as well, sort of bringing it out the details, and down on his sort of ab crunch area down here. So all that weathering goes all the way through as well, and down to his knees, and then even still on the back, that weathering goes through the whole entire figure. So yeah, really good, really nice looking figure. And if this come out today, I would still be impressed with this guy. He looks sensational. So would we say that he is actually worth that £65? I would think if you really want a Captain Rex and you want to go out there and put this guy in your collection, absolutely. Would I say he's worth £100 in box? I mean, if you're an in-box collector and you're really after the Clone Wars, then you know, it is a good bit of money kit and all that in there. So it's entirely up to you if you ever wanted to pay that. But being an actual Black Series collector, I would say I'm kind of not an expert. I would always say I'm intermediate with like action figures and stuff like that. I hold my opinion more than what I do on other figures and stuff like that, but I still think this is a really good figure. Honestly, I still think it's one of the best Black Series that Hasbro have definitely produced there. And I know I keep saying it, but I just feel like over the years, Black Series are they was good at one thing, and then they sort of like slip on something else, and then it gets better, but you never sort of like have one or the other, and this seems to have it all. So yeah, okay, articulation is a little bit dated now. We've got pins and we've got those other bits there, but there's nothing that he can't really actually do, and we'll go through some sort of like posing in a minute as well. We have a little bit of a play with this guy and see what he's capable of. But what I mean wise is when you go back to the original releases, they were a little bit more weathered. Yeah, the articulation weren't there. Yes, the face paint was a little bit off, but the actual bodies and the stuff there, they look pretty cool. But as the years went past, we started reducing down on the sort of like the detailing of the figure, and not much sort of like paintwork there, and that's why we do the upgrades on the channel. But they seem to got better in articulation. And then, you know, it just sort of seems, and then they sort of dying away from doing extra accessories and stuff on there as well, when they used to come with loads of accessories. So they've definitely gone through quite a few sort of alterations over time. And I do think around this time was when Black Series were on point. And if they brought in that sort of like articulation into these figures now, what they do now, then it would be successful once again. But I do feel like we're just getting a bit of a cop out now and again on the Black Series. So pinnacle figure, really good, highly recommended. If you want to get it on there in your shelf, then go for it. I don't think that they would do a re-release anytime soon, and I think if they did, I think they would go down the sort of like run of doing a just bringing him back out again, you know, in a sort of like a newer molded sort of figure on there. So obviously this guy's sort of hit on the channel quite a few times, so I made a phase 1 Captain Rex, which is on the newer body. This was a bootleg body, but so the pauldron's original from this guy. I had to repaint it because I painted up before, and inside as well we've got the Tamara Morrison head as well for this guy. I had to repaint his hair because beforehand I gave him a beard, so this guy's been through a little bit of time. But yeah, so just bringing him into that part, it would be kind of nice to have a phase 1 Rex on there, you know, but I still feel like this body's pretty good. I mean, we can just get him into a couple poses here. He's not going to get into like fantastic poses of any kind of sort of by any means, but you know, we can just twist his legs around a little bit more, get him out there shooting down in a pistol, you know, like pretty cool. Just getting that arm out there. You know, if you wanted a sort of running pose, running aside, you know, Anakin Skywalker, you know, you can bring his head up quite a bit in that helmet there, and just down on the side you can sort of tilt his leg over a little bit, and is he going to stay on there? So yeah, you can get a running pose. Just looks a bit odd, that one. You know, so we've got that as he's running down the corridor away from some clankers. You know, we can actually take off his helmet and just get him to stand all stoic wise, you know, bring his hand around, you know, pop his helmet there and just get him to stand. It's take a little bit more than just doing this on the camera and stuff like that, but you know, this is what I normally do, just behind the camera, and I go off. But rather than just taking the pictures, I thought I'd just show you what these figures are actually capable of, you know, if you want to go out there and buy these guys. And yeah, honestly, I do feel like he's pretty cool, to be honest. Got a few accessories there and stuff like that, so I do feel like it's not too bad. Yeah, so would I recommend this figure? Hell yeah, go out there and get him if you can, but obviously it does come with that hefty price tag. But this is kind of just a relook at that sort of like price tag. Is it worth it? Do you feel like you need to go out there and put this guy in your collection? Well, here it is. This is the review for you then, if you want to go down that route. Let me know in those comments down below if you feel like you want to go out there. Do you own this guy? What do you think of this? Do you think he still holds up to the sort of like tests of time of the Black Series, or do you feel like they have gone on leaps and bounds from here? I'd love to know your comments down there. But you can join the channel. You can for 99p or 99 cents from wherever you're from. Don't forget to subscribe, ding the bell, like the video, and I guess I'll see you next time. So take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.